It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. Today we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Frey Street, where they put fine dining into a sandwich and fine booze into a glass. They have a 3-hour happy hour here every day from 4 to 7, which is right now, actually. And they have a fine brunch here on the weekends, which is technically Saturday and Sunday. So you can either come down here when we're here or come here anytime. 7 days a week to Wayfare on Frey Street. We've got quite an interesting show for you lined up today, actually. Andrew Duhon is not here. I don't know where he is, but if you'd like to find him, you can go to andrewduhon.com. He's playing around the country somewhere, and you could see if he's near you. If you're not in New Orleans, he may be somewhere near you. My fabulous guests around the table today are very interesting. We have two writers, actually three writers. One is a songwriter. Josh Ray from the band Hazy Ray is here, who's one of our favorite guests who we've had on many times before. Hello, Josh.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Things have changed since we saw you last.
Yeah, there's another generation of Hazy Ray.
Can you believe it?
Oh.
Josh has had a baby.
Nice.
Goodness.
And she's sitting right over there.
Yeah.
This is her first trip to a bar. Is it her first trip to a bar?
Yep. It's the first time to a bar.
And how old is she?
18 days.
I think that's an appropriate time to start.
Yeah.
Have your first bar experience.
That is the voice of Kate Wright that you're listening to.
I might have gotten the unit of measurement wrong.
18 days? What do you mean? She's 18. Well, you have to be 21 now, so you used to be three days older.
I thought this was... Did Louisiana join the rest of the country? When did that happen?
Yeah, were you paying attention to that? This is
like
Alex
8 or 9 years ago.
Alex McConduit is also a writer.
I am.
Hi, Alex. Nice to see you. You've been on Happy Hour as well.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
It was a long time ago since you were on Happy Hour.
I really enjoy your voice more than seeing you, actually.
I know. Who wouldn't? Well put. So you write children's books.
I do. Children's books, mostly about New Orleans.
Right. What was the last one you wrote?
Actually, the last one I wrote was called Snowballs For All. Was the last one that was been released.
Snowballs For All.
Yep. Pelican Publishing bought it from me and re-released it.
Okay. Re-released it. So you published it yourself first.
Self-published it, then they re-illustrated it.
No, we're about to buy all your books, man. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, great. I got some for you in the car, actually.
Awesome.
Oh, you do? For free?
Yeah, for free.
How much would they cost to buy them?
$12, and one is $10.
$12?
Yeah. Gotta get me.
What did the one book do to be,
Pelican released it for a lesser price.
Oh, okay. So it's not in the doghouse or anything
No,
like
it's
that.
a great book. It's my favorite book, Snowballs For All.
So you released it first, and then Pelican thought they could make a bunch of money out of it, and they
bought it from me.
It off you to publish it.
Met them at the Louisiana Book Festival, and I tried to sell them a different book, but they really wanted. There's no books about snowballs, apparently, and they fell in love with it.
So there's a niche there for anyone listening who wants to write a book about snowballs.
You shouldn't have given it away, man. Could have had the market cornered on snowball children's books.
I trademarked it.
What's the story behind Snowballs For All?
Actually, so it's about a kid named Paul who loves snowballs, and he just can't find one snowball for Paul. Ends up going to the Snowball Fest, and he finally gets his snowball. Sorry to ruin the ending for the 18-year-old you got.
So it's a boy who finally gets his snowball.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I named the character after Paul Sanchez.
Paul Sanchez from the singer-songwriter.
Yep.
Why did you name it after? Why didn't you call him Sanchez?
Well, because Paul rhymes with snowball. And ever since I met Paul, he's just always nicest guy in the world, always trying to help me.
He is a super nice guy, isn't he?
Always trying to help me.
He's just a really super nice person. Did he help you at all?
Oh, yeah. He got me a bunch of different things. I can't even think of all the different things he got me involved with. But, Paul's a great guy.
What
Thanks,
did he
Paul.
get you involved with?
Got me on a reality/internet show with I forgot, a car company and some
Hang
stuff.
on. How can somebody forget what reality/?
It's like 4 years ago. I don't know.
It just means his priorities are straight. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was
really?
4 years ago.
Don't go on about that. I should just leave that alone. What do you mean you were on a reality?
Buick.
You were on a reality show for Buick.
Rediscover New Orleans, MSN in Buick, and we drove around different places in Buicks and showed the things that we liked about New Orleans.
Okay.
And I brought him to Rodney Snowball stand in New Orleans.
So Buick was rediscovering New Orleans?
Yeah, I think Buick, they just wanted to sell Buicks, I think.
Well, yeah, that's
well,
kind
you
of
were
their
just trying to
right?
sell snowballs for all.
Exactly.
Everyone's trying to sell something, aren't they?
If it's the American way, why not?
Except Paul Sanchez is just a nice guy. He got nothing out of it. But did he do the music for it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I owe him a couple favors now. So
Right.
yeah,
So your book is $12. I bought a book this afternoon on the internet for 99 cents.
I buy a lot of books for 99
Do
cents.
you? What was the last one you bought?
I bought this book called. You made me forget.
The Bible.
No.
That one's on sale right now.
Oh, it's called.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'll tell you
remember in a second.
I'll tell you about the book I bought because it was a book that was written by Kate Wright, who's sitting across the table from me.
Hey, Kate.
Hi, Kate. So this is what I did. Because, I do a lot of research for the show. Graham DePonte, our producer, sends me a bio for everybody. And so I read Kate Wright's bio. It says, Kate Wright is a self-published romance novelist.
It's true. It's all true.
Okay, so that's as far as I got.
Ow!
Romance
So I got books
novelist.
for my whole family now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I go straight to vivianwood.com, vivian-wood.com, which is the
Yeah.
name you write under.
That's right. Because
So-
I'm like trying really hard not to get murdered by like a stranger. Like my main fear as a writer is that like someone's going to show up at my door and be like, "Let me talk to you about this sex scene that you wrote." That's like my fear.
What do you think they would say?
I don't know, but I don't want to know.
Would they think they'd be complaining that it was too graphic or
No,
not graphic
I would
enough?
assume that they would show up and be like they were gonna like trap me in like a sex cave or something. I don't know. It's just like makes me nervous.
Sex cave.
Yeah. I'm a writer. I'm very neurotic, so like I think
Are
about
you?
these things. Like I
Right.
like sit in my office instead of working and like.
Do people have orgasms in these books? I didn't get that far.
Oh, they're very dirty.
Her fake
The
name is
dirty.
Vivian Wood.
Yeah.
Vivian Wood. That
There's
sounds like a
orgasms
porno.
involved.
Yeah.
That sounds like a porno.
It does.
That
Okay,
is
I
in
didn't
books.
actually pick that name.
Who picked it?
My best friend's husband got like hammered at his engagement party.
I knew she was going to say Amanda.
He looked at me like he's like this very like mellow like yacht guy who like
Mellow Yet guy.
who like doesn't
You don't hear that too often. I'm
right.
writing
He's
that
very
down
like
right
he's
now.
very mellow. He like looks at me very seriously and he's like, okay, listen. So I've got the name for your pen name for your book. And I was like, really? And he's like, no, it's perfect, Vivian Wood. And I was like, where'd you come up with that? And he's like, man, I thought about it a lot.
Yeah, Vivian, doesn't that mean like lover of life? So it's like
Yeah.
you love the life of wood.
I'm sure he didn't
That's a
think about
perfect-
it
That's
that-
a perfect
And a man
I'm
came
sure he
romance
didn't
writer.
think that much about it.
Mellow Yet guy. Do you think he knew what Vivian meant?
I doubt
I don't
that.
know how you know that. Even
I doubt
Josh, that's
that.
very
Looking
impressive.
for baby
word.
names.
Yeah.
Very impressive. What from Vive in French?
Yeah.
And he's been searching for baby names. I mean, let's be real.
That's how you know.
You've
that?
been-
Oh no, we cheated. We went the old-fashioned way. She's named after both of our grandmas.
Boom.
So no, I didn't do
What
the
are
baby
your
list.
What are your grandma's names?
Her
name is.
grandmother is Evangelina, and mine is Grace. So her name is Evangelina Grace.
That's cute.
That's a
Nice.
beautiful name, actually.
Yeah, we got lucky with the grandma's names.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
It could have been a
like
lot worse.
Rose Bertha or something like that.
That's
Vivian-
what, yeah,
Vivian
for
Wood.
sure in my family. Imogene.
So, how long ago did Mellow Yet guy come up with Vivian Wood? Because you've written a lot of books.
I've written a lot of books. So that was probably I wrote my first novel. Like I casually was like, I'm gonna write a novel, and then I was like, I don't know how to write a real novel. That sounds hard. So I was like, I'm gonna write a romance novel. That was about 5 years ago.
You've written. Oh, come on! You've written all these books in 5 years.
Yeah.
How
so
many- wait,
some of them
no,
are like
so
novellas,
nothing.
though, right? So they're not all full length novels. Like novellas used to be like how you made money. Like I self published on Amazon. Like you can only buy
Right.
my books on Amazon, and
Oh, so there's no
They
actual
used to have it-
hard. Is there a real book? Can I order a real book?
I
Would
do
to-
have for some of my books. It just depends on like how popular they are.
This is an interesting business model. So you
Oh,
can
it's
bang
all like a
these-
marketing scheme, kind
You
of.
can bang
it's like real
these
weird.
things out and
Yeah.
put them up on Amazon. No?
Yeah.
And then you have all these fans out there.
Yeah.
I read some of these reviews. This is a whole industry. You've got like a one-person business here. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So how many are there then?
So I probably have about 10 novels and probably about 50 novellas.
50.
50.
It's a lot.
I write children's books. They're like 16 pages long. Don't have 50 of them.
Dude, I'm not messing. I read a novel in like 2.5 weeks. I have like a process. It's like very
2.5 weeks.
quick. Yeah.
Okay, so could you knock one out if we started today?
In
Could
2.5
you knock
weeks?
one out for us in 2.5 weeks and then come back on Happy Hour?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm 20,000 words into a 55,000 word novel now, and I'm going to be done with it by Monday because I have to.
Today is, by the way, in case you're counting at home, was it Wednesday? Is it today?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how many more days is that?
Counting, not
Seriously.
really.
And you took an hour
Really
off
my
to come
thing.
here to Happy
Yeah.
Hour and get hammered on what are you
Yeah.
drinking, wine?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're going to go home and bang out another.
I'm probably going to take a nap, I assume, after.
Okay,
I work at night mostly, though.
you do.
Yeah,
Makes sense, your romance
I just
novels.
I just like drink a bunch of coffee, and then I'm up at like 3 a.m, like shaking and like
Right.
Is that what everybody else does? I don't know.
I don't know. Is that how you write, Alex?
It's different. I write children's books. It's a little different. So I just get up really early. I get up at like 4 a.m. and I write until people start calling me and ask me to do stuff that is not related to work.
What time do people start calling?
Usually around like 10, 11, 12. Somebody needs to go something, do somewhere.
So
blah,
up to
blah.
10, so you got 6 hours worth of writing at least until the first phone call.
Yeah, if that's what's happening.
Have you taken a shower in the meantime or had breakfast or anything?
Every 2 days I'll try to do a shower, keep it pretty regular.
That's pretty ambitious. I don't know.
What about you, Kate? What's your hygiene schedule?
I have pink hair, so I actually can only wash it like at once a week. So
I have no hair, so I just
I
dust it off.
That's my next
dust it
look.
off.
That's my look after this. Just like
what happens to your hair if you wash it? The pink comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the rest of your body? You
So
can't
I just
take a shower.
sink bathe like a prostitute, basically.
Like a prostitute. You sink
hope my dad doesn't
You
listen
sink
to
bathe there every day for a week.
Sink
Yeah,
bathe.
basically.
Why
yeah.
can't you-
Mr. Wood wouldn't mind.
I live alone with my cat. Like no one cares. No one cares.
And your cat's name is?
My cat's name is Pocket.
Pocket.
What were
Yeah.
you thinking it was going to be, Alex?
Pussy?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't use that word in my books though.
I'm a children's author.
I don't use that word at all.
You don't use the word pussy?
No, like I've
Okay.
definitely mastered like all of the euphemisms that you can use for vagina.
Okay,
like,
let's
all
go
of
Give
them.
us
through
a
them.
couple.
Yeah.
Top 8.
Top 8.
Top 8.
What's your favorite euphemism for vagina, which, by the way, pussy is one?
My favorite, like just going on like pure eloquence and not like reasonableness, is I really like when authors describe it as like the juncture of her thighs. Like that's something I really like.
The juncture of her thighs.
The juncture of her thighs.
And this is what somebody would describe their
Number 7.
Are these?
Yeah.
Should I write
Number
that down?
7.
Actually?
Yeah, romance readers are like they're kind of like delicate. Like they don't not. It's different for every author. Like some authors do say like pussy, they do say cock, they do say these like different things, and like it's just different. Like what your style is. For me, I don't find those words like to be super sexy in this context. Like these are like romance novels. They're fantasies for women. They're not. Like it's not
not pornography.
It's not.
It's erotic.
So it's definitely it's erotica.
So there's a difference
for sure.
between erotica and pornography.
For sure.
Pornography-
I think
It's
so.
like squares and rectangles.
Yeah.
Like one of them's one, but the other one's not. The other one's
It's not it at all. All right.
A square is a form of a rectangle, isn't it?
I can't remember. Which
Oh,
A square
Jesus,
is
you're
a
the guy-
rectangle. You're
Okay,
right.
I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway,
Am I
even if
wrong
it
about
isn't.
that?
How do you know the word what Vivian means? You don't know whether a square is a rectangle. And how is that possible? Alex, am I right? Is a square a rectangle?
I think he has a dirty little mind.
Yeah, no, I've been distracted for about 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so the juncture of her thighs is... And now are these novels in the first person? They're always like a woman's
I
point of view?
do a little bit of both because I write in a couple of different genres, and romance genres are like these very like super specific things. So like some of my newer novels are like in first person, which I don't like writing, and I don't think that they're like...
Well, the one I read was in the first person. It was Lady Catherine, I think.
Yeah. That was like the second one I ever wrote in the first person, and it was like a struggle. That's hard for me.
How long was this book?
So there, like if you had like a print copy of it, it'd be like 300 something pages.
Jeez, that's
300
huge.
in the first person.
Jeez.
That's kind of
It's
impressive.
very...
That's really
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
normally
write for
it's-
fun. I'm not on y'all's level, but
I don't
300
recommend
pages of
trying it. It's not
first person?
fun. Like
That's
it was
crazy.
very boring.
I get sick
actually.
of myself after like a page of bitching.
Well, for a long time I
Dear
wrote
diary.
I wrote paranormal for a long time, like paranormal romances. So I got to write about like cool shit like werewolves and like sexy vampires, which was really fun because I could write all my stories about New Orleans and like just like put all my favorite people in restaurants and things in my books and like hope I don't get sued. And then I'm like trying this newer thing.
What's your favorite restaurant that was in one of your sexy romance paranormal novels?
That's a good question.
Thank you. Finally, I knew I'd have one.
High Volt Coffee is definitely
High Volt Coffee, that
definitely
place down
in one
on
of my recent
down
books.
on
Yeah.
Magazine Street.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't mind. They would love it, I would think.
Well, I'm like friendly with all the people that work there. I feel like they wouldn't care.
Are people surprised when they find out what you do, or makes
I
sense
don't
when
think
they know?
so.
They're not.
I think if you talk to me for like 10 minutes, like you're like, no, that makes sense.
I have talked to you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
Don't
have
you
guessed.
think so?
I wouldn't have guessed. No, I wouldn't have guessed romance novelists if I hadn't read Lady Catherine. What's that called? That one?
It's called the literal name of it is Bad Boy Prince.
Bad boy.
Because you want to dumb down the name to like the lowest common denominator, so people really know what they're getting by looking at a romance cover.
Right.
So you just like
I might have bought that because I thought it was about Prince, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I picked that one, but look at this.
That should clearly be my next book. That was my first crush ever.
I'm looking
Prince,
at-
Prince
so.
was your first crush.
Yeah.
If you want to
Still
get
my
if you want to
main
get
crush.
sued, that would be the guy to write about.
You should. Yeah.
Definitely.
Is
They'll
that
come
Prince,
after you.
Is that Prince on your arm walking some birds? The tattoo I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's from the book The Little Prince.
It's The Little Prince.
So that's when he
I
like.
was just gifted that book, and I haven't read it
Oh
yet.
my god, it's like the
Are you
best book
serious?
ever.
Yeah.
It's the best book ever.
How could you write children's books and
good.
you never read The Little Prince? It's like
That's what somebody
There
told
are a
me.
That's
lot
the
of
Little
children's
Prince of
books, sir.
But that's the sort of king
yeah,
of
but
children's books, isn't
that's
it?
like
Well,
the
it's on my
book,
desk,
right?
right
It's
next
on your
to
desk.
It's really
next
good.
to the
It's
book
really
that
good.
I can't think. Oh, the Illustrated Guide to Becoming One with the Universe. That's the book.
That's the book that you're just reading.
99
Amazing
cent one?
book.
The
Somebody's nailed down
Illustrated
how to do
Guide.
that. Like
It's an
very-
illustrated guide.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
He also
I
wrote
need help.
"I'm in Friend Love with You." That's his first book.
Oh, I like that.
So it's cool. Yeah, he has good titles.
I like that.
Don't know his name though.
What is it called? The Illustrated Guide to the what?
The Illustrated Guide to Becoming One with the Universe. One tip from it is plant seeds.
I was just thinking if it had marijuana was in it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he spent a little time in Colorado.
That's what I'm thinking. Is that was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, yeah. That's
The
probably one way to
Illustrated
get
Guide would
there.
be just a whole lot of buds. You know, that was the first thing I thought of. What's it, when they say illustrated? There's photos in there.
No, he drew pictures that just shows. It's kind of black and white, but it's really cool. I wish I'd have brought it actually.
Yeah, I wish you had too. So, what are you going to read first? The Little Prince or
I already
both
started.
those
Yeah,
together?
go read The Little Prince. It's very important.
I got a long flight ahead of me, so I'll read it on the
Where are you
Yeah.
going?
It's very
Going to
important.
London and Liverpool to visit a couple schools. Hopefully they don't listen to this when I said pussy.
Well, we haven't said pussy yet. We don't say cock
said
or
it
pussy.
like three
Actually,
times.
Just in context.
all we
of
said was
naming
the
a
juncture
cat,
of her
it's not a big
thighs. So, hey, would you like me to move Guy out of the way for you? You right? Because he can move. He's fine. He's just observing. Okay, this is our friend Guy.
I don't know what he's drinking, but he's got a coupe glass. And I'm like,
Oh, what is that glass?
Yeah, a coupe.
So, what's going on in London and Liverpool, Alex?
Visiting some schools and libraries in London and Liverpool, reading to some children, not about the P word.
Dude, that's
but,
awesome.
That is
giving
awesome.
them a
Congrats.
taste of New Orleans. So I read 3 books that have something to do with New Orleans, play my trumpet, second line.
You have a trumpet?
Yeah.
That's the coolest.
I was just
Is that here today as well?
It's in the car.
it's in
right?
the car. Yeah.
How far away is the car?
That's too far for
Too
me to
far to
play.
get the trumpet. Ah, yeah, right. Okay. I didn't even know you played the trumpet. That's cool.
I don't really play. I try it now. I used to play when I was young. Somebody stole my trumpet out of my house after
Man.
Katrina. I just got one. My family all put together bought me one for a Christmas gift,
Oh, how
and now
cool
I'm
is that?
relearning.
That's a really great.
I say the
family
second
Christmas
half
gift.
of my life, I want to be a jazz musician.
Right.
Because I'm a morning person
How
now.
long are you going to live?
I think I'm gonna live to about 83.
See if you
Cool.
get. So you got
When
to
I'm 82, I'm gonna be
40.
like-
So you get. You got to start playing the trumpet, being a jazz musician at 40. What's half of 83? 40.
41 and a half.
41 and a half. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll be on Frenchman. You can catch me. I'll be playing at Snug Harbor. Bring your friends. It's 20 years from now.
Yeah. Well, people listen to these podcasts all back and forth. They're not
That
chronological.
dude used to write children's books.
Yeah.
And I don't drink, so.
I feel like I don't know what I'm doing like 6 months from now. So like the fact that you know what you're going to do with the second half
got
of
my
your
shit
life
together.
is very intimidating.
My shit is together,
Yeah.
Kate. I'm a writer.
I'm like, I might take a nap later.
Oh, I'm definitely taking a nap. man.
You guys could take a nap together, and then you could write about it.
That
could be-
doesn't sound weird
That
at
could
all.
be page.
I'm
that could,
into that.
yes, that's an awesome idea. That could be. What page are you up to?
On my book?
Like halfway through, 150 out of 300 pages.
I've avoided all of them, dude. The last 4.
Could you work a sex scene with Alex into it?
The possibilities are endless in my life.
Are they really?
The world is my oyster,
Okay.
Oyster is one of those.
Oyster, bearded oyster. we
number
heard
six.
that.
Number 6.
What else do we say instead of pussy and vagina? We don't say vagina. That's not romantic. at
No,
all.
it's like that's a pretty cold. It sounds like a medical condition.
Okay.
God, what are some really good ones? I like when women when you can tell it's like a female romance novelist because they're so discreet about like what they're talking about. So one of my other favorite ones is when they're like, and then he like slid his hand down and he touched her dampness, and you're like, it's like vulgar.
What kind of face
It's
is that?
they didn't
vulgar
say
and
moist.
I like
discreet
that.
at the same time. Like it's just so
Humidity.
silly. Like it's very
Touches her
right. I'm going to
humidity.
start using that.
You should.
Humidity. So you're reading other people's romance.
Absolutely.
novels.
I think so romance trends change like super quickly, like as quickly as like TV trends maybe, you know? So like the new thing that's like really cool this year, and this is going to sound like the most bizarre thing ever, but you read one of the Step Brother books, right?
I wouldn't say I read the whole book. I read about the first chapter. I got Lady Catherine and they got to the party and everyone's staring, and something awful happened to her in the United States. She had I don't know what it is.
She had a really tough time. She had a really tough
time.
Anyway, so that's in us like a subgenre that it's called the big subgenre. It's romance, and then it's new adult and college romance, and then the subsect of that, because that's like how specific it gets, is called stepbrother romance, which sounds disgusting, and I like refused to write it for a long time because I have a stepbrother who wants to date their stepbrother, like only really gross people.
But that's weird. That's the
I
thing,
would
though,
never
right?
kiss my stepbrother.
Really?
Right?
I would totally kiss him.
Well, you haven't met my stepbrother.
There's a whole category devoted to that.
There's a whole category, and it's
Alex knows that. That's what worries me.
I was born in South Carolina.
Here's
how
it goes, though. Here's how it goes. They're like, oh, we're early 20-somethings, and we hooked up, and we're like attracted to each other, and then we secretly find out later that our parents are going to marry, and so it's this like big deal. It's like the dumbest way to have taboo sex ever. Like it doesn't make any sense.
But hang on a second. There's nothing, just to clear this up legally, there's nothing wrong with having sex with someone who's not related to you.
But it's just taboo enough. Like in the
Why
reader,
is it taboo at all?
It's not to me. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But like to readers, like they want something that's like a little bit spicy, but they want it to be like tame.
This is like fucking your sister, except it's really not.
Not at all. You didn't even grow up in the same house as them. Like it's not in any way. To me, I'm like,
if your mother and my father fell in love with each other, it wouldn't be totally unlikely that you and I could fall in love with each other because we have some similarities.
Well, it happens in romance novels all the time. Is all I'm telling you.
Can we be honest? Can we be honest and say that
yes,
it's definitely a little weird? Nothing's wrong with it. Weird is not the right word.
Okay,
it's different.
It depends. It depends
it's
on
curious.
Scientifically speaking, that would be the best way to produce like a perfect relationship, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying too.
No,
scientifically,
it makes sense.
It really it does actually like gross me out a little bit. But my best friend looked at me very seriously, and she's like, "You know that
is this mellow
that
yet?
Is what the plot to Clueless is." And I had like a really serious think about that, and I was like, "You are so smart."
It is.
And that's actually what convinced me. Like we were like drinking at the bar one night, and she was like, "Dude, but that's what happens in Clueless. Like it can't be that bad." And I was like,
"What is Clueless? A Hollywood movie?"
Yeah,
the movie, the same thing we're talking about.
Well, Alicia Silverstone falls in love with Paul Rudd, who's definitely her stepbrother that she lives in a house with.
But doesn't it also come from like Shakespeare or something? Haven't we?
Shakespeare gets like a lot worse than dating your stepbrother.
Linda knows something about Shakespeare.
Yeah, she's an English major before she taught first graders.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there's. I'm pretty sure there's brothers. Like,
I mean, there's also like the whole like Electra thing, so that's like a lot worse.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Electra?
Yeah, if you fall in love with your father, that's called the Electra complex.
Never did that ever.
Not yet.
I love them.
Not yet.
Wait a minute.
I'm glad you got that out there, Alex.
Just wanted to be clear because I'm in this conversation.
Yeah,
the other
one,
I love them, but not in love with them.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now.
I'm not judging you either way.
When you say in love with your father,
I love them, not in
like
love.
Like a sexual romantic love with your father. That's
with
called
one's
the
own
Electra
father.
Complex. Yeah.
That's not
Oedipus is the other way.
It's the end of that complex.
You're right.
Mother.
You're absolutely right. I don't know why I didn't say that and said that makes more sense. But
I was like,
it's much more common. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I said
that. But we're assuming this is an opposite sex thing, right? That a guy has a sexual attraction to his mother and a woman has a sexual attraction.
We're hoping that never happens,
That's what I was
but it does in Greek mythology.
No,
this
is on my table.
No, I don't have a table. Threw my table away when I heard about this.
I eat on the floor.
So are there any... What are these called? This is young adult now we're talking about?
New adult. Yeah, so young adult is like, it's like
notes.
clean for kids, for teenagers. New adult is like filthy, but it's about kids that are like in their early 20s.
New adult is filthy.
But young adult romance novels is a thing?
They do Twilight. Twilight's young adult romance, for sure.
Okay. Young adult, I'm children.
Everything is like implied.
I can transition into that easily.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
Why don't you change your name to
I've been thinking
Chuck
about.
Wood.
I've been trying to come up with a good pen name actually
for your erotic novels.
Not erotic, but
you
more
could do
like
your kids' novels under your real name,
Yep.
Alex McConduit. So it sounds legit.
Perfect.
And then you could be Chuck Wood.
Chuck Wood.
Yeah.
And no relation
No
because just
relation
in
to
case
Vivian.
we do that nap thing,
Yeah.
it won't be a situation.
that's
it won't be
fine.
a problem.
Or no, if
Fine.
you do the nap thing as Chuck Wood, apparently it'd be a hit in the romance novel world.
You
We're
guys,
in.
you figured it. I mean, that's pretty much it.
This is
Okay.
material. We're giving you material
Yeah.
here. You
This
owe us
is-
a
Well, I
little
thought
bit.
you were the one who was going to write this.
I'm gonna let her write about it. I'll
Why
just
don't
be
you
the
both write it and then you
inspiration.
get two sides of the same story?
I feel like
it.
literally
The same nap.
every new man that I meet in my life, regardless of age or like anything about them, they're like, "Let me tell you some stories.
I
I have
Really?
some great inspiration stories for you," and you're like,
Wow.
Thanks.
Do they have any good ones?
Never.
Never.
They're always terrible. Or like they're like so exaggerated that you're like, I guarantee you that never happened.
So
I
you
don't think
could-
that's even possible.
So, do you think they're just making them up to impress you?
Maybe, I don't know. This always happens at like bars, and then like my like crappy friends are like, hey, let me tell you something about this lady. This lady writes porn.
Writes porn.
And then it just goes to like a really bad place immediately because like the shittiest people in the bar like come over to talk to me and they're like,
Well, I mean,
giving
it's a
me
bar.
their stories.
I mean, it's either shittiest people or people at their shittiest.
I mean,
right?
One hopes I'm certainly not. I'm not like a personality like Jim. I
What bar
certainly
do you?
get really.
What bar do you go to? Just in case anyone's listening to this.
Do what?
What bar are we
Where
talking
can,
about?
where can they find you?
I can
Where can they
specifically-
find
I-
Vivian Wood?
Well, online you can find you online on
That's
Facebook.
true.
Not as
yeah.
fun. Not as
Anywhere.
fun.
I found you on Facebook.
That's a good question. I go to Cure a lot. I also go to
on
Bayou Beer Garden,
Friendship.
even though those are very different
I
places.
love Bayou Beer.
Well, you're allowed to go to different places.
Yeah, you just have to like spice it up. So if I go to Bayou Beer Garden, if I want to play trivia or like talk to people who are stupid, and that's generally what happens to me at Bayou Beer Garden. I have like 11 drinks and I like yell at someone about feminist stuff. That happens a lot.
Love
I
it.
think that's
I'm a
it looks
feminist.
familiar. I think that's
What side of the feminist argument are we on?
Women's side.
The
I
feminist
suppose.
side.
You're on the feminist
Is there
side.
another side to the
I
argument?
have no
Wrong-
idea.
the
what
wrong
we-
side.
There's not.
There's
So
the wrong side.
you can be a feminist and write erotic literature for women.
think
You can be a
so.
feminist and do anything, Grant.
I
Before you
think
get in
so.
trouble.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can be
I
a
just
feminist and
wondered.
do
I wouldn't
everything.
have put those
No,
two
but
in the same
this is actually a
sentence.
really good question. I
Okay,
think. I
let's hear
think.
it.
I'm
I
on,
think it's
I'm on a roll
really.
for good questions today.
I think
just
it's really
wanna know.
important. Like for me, like when I'm writing books, like everybody like expresses like their opinions about life in different ways. But for me, like I try really hard not to write those like shitty romance novels where the end is like the girl gives up her job to be with the man that she's in love with. I'm like, fuck that. I don't do
Is
that.
that how these romance novels often
A lot
end?
of them are.
Oh,
Yeah, a
that's
lot of them are
ridiculous.
like, well,
Nobody wants to
maybe
read that.
since I'm the female character, I'm just going to like stop being who I am as a person and do whatever you need. And that's going to be like our romance story. And
But
I'm like,
that's,
that's
a story.
terrible.
That's a story for men, not women. That's a fantasy
no,
for men.
but like that, like
Women-
those
women
stories
want to
sell
think-
very well.
What do you
They
think?
sell very well.
Yeah, forever. They've always been selling
Because
very
you're just
well.
writing the
Today?
same like cookie cutter
Yeah.
book over and over and over again, which is what all romance novels are to some extent.
there's
But
a
like,
reason they became a cookie cutter.
yeah,
I need to interrupt.
they're like
That's
very
what you use to
successful. You
call
know
it.
exactly what you're going to get.
I need to interrupt.
Yes.
You're babysitting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not drinking.
Oh, you're
enough.
supposed to be not drinking enough. Okay,
I'm also guilty.
so there's a whole lot of women out there still who want this fantasy of being looked after by a strong muscle man who's going to take them away on a horse and
Yeah.
look after them.
I mean, with all
Yeah.
the estrogen in the water, it's
interesting.
probably more of a fantasy now than it's ever been.
Maybe.
Estrogen? I thought
the-
it was fluoride.
Just
Oh,
both.
that too.
No, the
Just both.
estrogen's in the water from the
I
birth.
thought, what about lead? No, it's not here.
Well,
I'm
that's
not worried
probably
about
here.
that.
Anyway,
That's
moving
fine.
forward.
But the estrogen is in the water from the contraceptive pill, right?
For all
So
kinds
doesn't
of
it-
reasons,
Never heard that.
that and
I think so.
something to do with plastic in the water bottles or something. I can't remember.
Oh, that too.
And
crazy.
soy milk.
I try to pretend like
Boom.
none of that's
Soy milk,
happening,
too.
and so I just.
Well, that's
it's
going to
fine.
make.
Yeah, no, the world's a scary place.
Totally fine.
I've been
You just
watching
have
my
to-
daughter and watching Cosmos.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
God,
dude.
no! Don't do that.
She's only 18 days old. Wait till
You have
she's
to
18
you have to put
years
the
old. You're gonna
blinders
be
on, man, a
flipped
little
out.
bit. Like, there's some stuff that you just have to like not. If you just think about Rwanda like all the time, you can't live like that.
You
Like
can't.
you just have to like.
No, for
There's
sure.
like there's
Hey
like
man,
a,
I just felt like watching some space stuff, and then I forgot what happens at the end, and then it got to the end. I was like, wow.
So has
Baby,
this,
enjoy your 18 days. I don't know how many more you got.
Disappointing.
has this ruined a romantic life for you, or does it make it even better?
Good question.
That's a good question. I feel like when I
Another
go,
one. Thank
I
you,
feel like when
guys.
I go
It's
on
5.
on dates with people, they have like really like weirdly high expectations, and I'm like,
Of
yeah,
what it's going to be like in bed with you.
yeah, but I'm like actually like really cantankerous and lazy, so like I don't know,
But
like
no one's giving a shit about that. All
We
they're
don't
thinking about
mind if you're lazy.
I don't
It's
want to
not
go.
a
I don't want to go
problem.
like too in depth because my father's going to listen to this later. But
bet.
but
Hey,
I'm
man.
very lazy, so.
But most
you know.
guys, okay, listen, let's tell you the truth.
But I'm imaginative, obviously, clearly.
Tell
So
her
I
the
just-
truth.
You know.
Tell her the truth.
most
Yeah.
guys are going to be thinking about having sex with you.
Yeah.
And they must think that you're really into it.
I can't tell you what they think.
Well,
I'm very self-centered. I'm only worried about what I think.
Good answer.
But when you say guys have high expectations, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
They're expecting this is going to end.
I feel
great.
like they think that they're gonna like come to my apartment for the first time, and I'm just gonna pull out like I'd be like,
Guys are
my
very, like,
fucking red room of
PC.
sex toys
Yeah.
or something. Like, look
PC
at I have
in front
so
of the
many
camera, like,
dildos,
we're
or
just happy to
whatever
be
it
here.
is. I don't know.
Do you have
Guys
do you
expect
have a-
no. So once
think-
yes hits
Yeah,
the hits the
we're just happy
airwaves.
to
Hang
be
on a
there.
minute.
I
You
just
hit
like to thank
something-
God.
You hit
I'm
something
happy to be
interesting
here.
there. Do you think most guys like dildos?
Oh, I just feel like they expect me to have things that would make them like
Toys.
I don't know. Yeah,
They
whatever.
expect toys.
So
What do guys expect?
I don't. That's a great question. I don't really
The man
understand
just said it
men
a
at
minute
all.
ago, dude. He
Like
just told
that's
me.
why I write books for women. Like I don't know. I don't understand men at all.
Well, what do
like,
women-
I don't.
3 words.
Jesus, you know I've got the
Ruining
best
my
question of all
brand.
time coming up. I just have thought of a brilliant question. What do women want?
Oh, that's
There's a
such
movie
good
about it, I
question.
heard.
I know there was a Mel Gibson
It's a
of
good
all
movie,
people.
but it was a good movie.
Was
That
I
was
didn't
actually,
actually see
no,
it.
it wasn't. That was bad.
I mean,
that was so
from the
sexist.
feminist
So
standpoint, of
fucking
course.
sexist.
But that was like 5
Yeah,
years
but
ago
just 'cause
before
it's sexist
everybody
doesn't
was
make it bad.
on the
I'm
way.
going to agree to disagree
you've
with you
gotta
there,
know.
my friend.
Kate, you've got to know what women want. Surely, I mean, you're in that head all day.
I mean, I think I could tell you a little bit about like what women's fantasies are like in general, like in like a romantic way. I could give you like some idea, but a lot of them are
well,
not like
what is-
anything related to real life. Like it's not what you would really want in
Like
an
a
actual
man who's
partner.
honest and
So there's two things.
That is not how that starts.
so one's
at all.
One's a fantasy and one's a reality.
So I
women-
feel like personally, like a lot of these romance novels are selling like a pretty specific fantasy, and it depends on like what genre. You know, there's like, for instance, there's like a subgenre that's called Black Woman, White Man, which is exactly what it sounds
is
like.
that a book or is that an online thing?
That's a
No, they're
genre.
books. They're books. It's a
category.
genre of romance where like
There's tons
there's
of
like a college age Black woman dating like a white millionaire. This is like an
Professor.
actual thing that people are reading. I don't really understand it.
College-
They're super racist. Every single one that I've read has been like real offensive.
You know what
but-
it is? It's just because like in America, the whole black thing is kind of like a little taboo. So like having
But the-
See, I
But
just
the wo-
assumed it was trying to make your millionaire white guys just imagine that their dick is bigger than it really is.
that was
It's gonna
hilarious.
make
No, but we're not
feel
selling
ba-
anything to men. We're
make it-
only selling it
It's
to
only
women.
for
And it's
women.
mostly white women that are buying those books,
Gotcha.
which I find the most
I don't know.
strange.
because they feel
How-
like they shouldn't be doing that, and so
I
they're like
guess,
into
I guess.
How do you know?
Whatever it is.
How do you know who's buying them by race?
it.
So
Google.
So you can
Really?
you can
I know they know a lot
Email.
about you.
Yeah.
But they don't
No,
know.
Google
without
Analytics.
without going into like a lot of like very boring stuff, like basically romance authors, like self-published romance authors, are just like super obsessed with statistics, and all we do is just like stock stuff online, and just
Okay.
all we're trying to do is figure out like who's buying stuff, like who's our Facebook audience, like if you can target people on Facebook, like
yeah, I
you know,
understand
do ads,
that, but
like,
how? But do people self categorize by race when they
Def-
buy
Definitely.
when they're buying
Romance.
a book?
Oh yeah,
romance for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can-
I've
I would
bought a lot
imagine.
of books, including that book I bought today. Nobody asked me if I'm black, white, or anything.
but it wasn't
How
about
do you-
romance.
But how much
It
commercial?
was.
How
I
much
bought a
commercial
book.
Did you
fiction
pay
are
for
you
it
buying?
online?
Bad print,
Yeah.
sort
Well,
of.
you're
much-
a
Did you pay for it
man.
online?
99
Yeah.
cents.
You
You're
pay
a
for it
man.
online,
That's
right?
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Do they
means
know
that
I'm
they
white?
can find out
No.
everything about you.
So
For
for,
the-
but
for the
for
man.
instance,
Okay,
my
alright.
like my specific like okay, so you can go as an author, you can pay for an ad on Facebook, and you can go to Facebook and say, I want to market to women in these countries. I want to market to women that are between these distinct age, this race. They own a Kindle. They like. I mean, you can get really. Facebook knows everything about you. It's
That's
real
true, they do.
creepy.
So
Like,
why-
they
It's
know
only 'cause you told 'em.
everything about you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they for sure. They know what you look at. They know what you click on.
Yeah.
For
Everybody
sure.
knows, yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows everything. Why you can
The
write
first time I
stuff
made a
in-
Facebook ad, I was
And
terrified.
when you purchase ad services from a company, as the purchaser, you get to find out what people are doing, and it's a little
So
weird.
you advertise on Facebook.
I do. It's like one of the only places that I advertise.
And how much
so.
would you spend advertising on these?
Maybe like a few $100s a book.
Okay.
So,
So you get quite a lot for a few $100.
Yeah,
So
it's
okay,
good,
so
yeah.
so someone who writes this book about a black woman, a regular black woman dating a white millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, okay, millionaire is not even big of a deal anymore. Billionaire, you have to be now if you want to have a real fantasy, don't you?
right, you're right. They probably are billionaires.
So when
I don't know.
when they buy an ad for that book, they know that a white woman wants to buy that. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, you can
what
go in
makes
and
you so okay? What makes a white woman want? What kind of white woman is buying that?
do you want my like educated guess?
Yes.
Because I don't know exactly for sure, but like I'm pretty sure that it's women between the ages of like 30 and maybe 58. That's usually like my target audience.
Okay.
It's women who have families, who like kids that are like high school age or older, so that they have free time.
Pregunta.
Nice.
I was
Very
in
good.
Hey, I spent a month in Colombia.
Very good.
Pregunta.
Very good.
Would that be the MILF category? Is what I'm asking.
No, I don't think they're MILFs at all. I think that they're like, and this is just a guess again,
Anti-MILFs.
but in my personal opinion, having like as Vivian Wood interacting with these people on Facebook, I think that these women are like mostly in like pretty unhappy relationships or they're divorced.
Are you
And they
responding
just-
to questions and stuff on Facebook and everything as Vivian?
I do. I have like, so I have like a separate. I basically just post like shirtless photos of Tom Hardy all the time, and like it just does really well.
Is
I
that
go
your
on-
marketing
Me too.
plan? That's a
Right.
great
Yeah,
idea.
just naked. No, not naked because Facebook will yell at you, but like just shirtless men.
Shirtless
So
men.
I should be posting photos of like Barney and like Ronald McDonald.
If they have their shirt off.
You like, I really think that if you want to sell books on Facebook,
To
like
children.
you interact by being like a
parents.
person. Like Vivian Wood is not me, and like I don't interact like that with people. But
Why did you tell us your real name on the show, just in case anyone's listening? So, I mean,
I don't think it's going to be fine. I think I talked about.
do you normally not?
I
reveal
normally
your real
don't.
name?
I normally don't. But I felt like it was really weird to have people call me Vivian Wood. It felt very strange. I didn't
did.
want it.
Okay.
So, but I am actually
That
going.
would have made like 15 minutes of this really awkward.
So I'm
good.
actually going to an authors conference this summer, and I have to be Vivian Wood for like
Maybe I
5
should come.
days, and I'm like,
Wow.
you should.
Yes.
We're gonna talk. Oh,
You have to write a
You
romance
could
novel.
be-
It's a
you could be
romance.
the guy.
It's a romance.
Chuck Wood.
Chuck Wood.
I'm going with that name.
Chuck Wood.
Okay.
Chuck. Like
I can
Yeah.
write that down as well. Hey,
Do
listen,
it.
Chuck Wood.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to take.
Do you know men,
Chuck Wood.
male pseudonyms as romance novelists are like what's really hot in romance right now?
Hey, we're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Dollars and
What
cents
are you
Yeah.
going to tell
around
us?
here.
What's
There's a guy
male
named
romance is hot?
like pseudonym, like a male pseudonym writing romance. So this is a real story. I can't even make this shit up. There's a guy named Chance Carter, whatever his real name is, I don't know, but that's his pen name. And he has a book that was #1 in the Amazon store for like 2 weeks, and it is called, I am not kidding, Wife Me Bad Boy. Wife Me.
Is it
Wife
a gay
Me Bad
novel?
Boy?
Is it a gay novel?
No.
Wife Me Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Written by men.
Fuck
Sounds
yes.
like a gay novel.
What is
It does
I
sound like
agree.
that, but it was like an insane like
Does it have
runaway
a?
smash
Does it have a
hit.
comma? Is it
Of
wife
Of course
me,
not.
comma,
Like
bad
no,
boy?
this guy doesn't.
You
No,
don't
he
care
doesn't
about
know how
punctuation.
sentences work.
He's not an English major.
But this is what I
Grant.
was talking about. Like you really like when you dumb down the name of your book, you're gonna sell more books. There was also #1 in the Amazon store for a while, a paranormal novel called Big Sexy Bear.
Boom.
Also kind of sounds like
That
a
sounds
gay
like,
book.
that sounds like
definitely, I definitely
Sharknado.
buy that.
Yeah.
That's like a bestiality book, right?
It sounds
sexy
like,
bear.
No, but like
That's
for a
illegal.
while,
That's
the
illegal.
thing, the hot thing was
Is it?
like shifters,
Shifters.
shapeshifters.
Shapeshifters.
Yeah, so they're like
That's a
these
cool
big
thing.
burly men who are like ripped and like really
Right.
interesting, and they just fall in love with these like very curvy women. That was a thing for a while.
And
I
they
don't
turn
know.
and they shapeshift into like little meek goats or something.
No,
Or
they
like-
all. I mean, well, my
Meerkats?
one
Who
of
are
my
you
friends
texting,
wrote one
Josh,
about
or-
werebees, so that was a thing that had happened, and he like would he'll enthusiastically try to give people that book, and it's real bad.
Well, can we? I'm going to come back to Wife Me Bad Boy because I don't need.
We could just let it go. It's fine. Like
Okay, I was
that's
just
all
saying-
you really
but no,
need
we,
to know
we,
about
we got to
that.
stop for a minute and tell you about the people who are sponsoring the show.
Okay.
Oh,
And
perfect.
then Josh is going to play something in behind me while I read these sponsor messages, so it sounds
I'll
groovy.
play something behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're
Hope
going to
it's
play,
not
and then you're going
romance.
to play a song for us.
All right, cool.
So you got a moment to warm up
This is
here.
the sponsor music.
Yeah, this is the sponsor music.
This is radio. This is real radio.
Yeah,
right here.
come up with something
Old
like
school.
sponsory.
Sponsoring.
A jingle.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
I don't know, anything you feel like.
That's
As
a
soon
lot
as
of
you
pressure.
start playing, I'll start doing it.
I like it.
Well, that's not bad. Okay. Today's show is brought to us by Petite Pet Care. How about that? Nothing too sexy about that, I don't think.
No,
Pets.
Not
Oh,
really.
pets. Is there a novel about?
I hope not.
Nah. Well, you know, pussy. That's where we don't say pussy.
What about like heavy petting?
Heavy petting. Okay. Today's short show is brought to us by Heavy Petting. Petite Pet Care. If you're going out of town or you have a crazy schedule, the folks at Petite Pet Care will take care of your pet in his or her own home. You don't have to board them. For loving care when you're not there, you can go to petitepetcare.com. Thanks to the Basics Swim and Gym, we can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout and yoga clothes with style. Basics Swim and Gym is on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. And thanks to the Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Go to the Hangover Destroyer website. It's hdestroyer.com. Write the words happy hour and the coupon code if you're sober enough to do that, and get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer, and you too can seize the dawn. And that's about it for that. Thanks.
That sounds real good.
That's Josh
Hangover
Ray from
Destroyer.
Hazy Ray.
I'm in.
What are you going to play for us?
Well, I was gonna play something clean in this conversation
For a change.
I wasn't gonna play this song, but
Yeah, I can move this
I
mic
have
onto the
to now.
guitar, and you can use that one for vocal.
that's a word. It's cool. I was not gonna play this song, but I feel like it has to be done now because this is what women don't want.
Perfect. We're good at that.
Apparently. You saw it coming, but there's nothing you could do about it. 'Cause you did not. Shit. You saw it coming, but there's nothing you could do about it. You knew that I would leave in the night alone without you. But every time I knock on your door, you could always let me in. Only to slow this sad story's end. You saw it coming, but there's nothing you could do about it. 'Cause I'm something you know that you need more than you ever admit to yourself. So I come and I go and I know it'll stay this way until you can say no. And people say that love is worth anything in this world. And people say I should give up everything for that girl. But honestly, it's got nothing to do with love, just good taste. I tried to tell you I am not the one. I tried to tell you this was all for fun. I tried to let you know that I'd eventually let you go, but you just will not understand until I'm gone. People say that love is worth anything in this world. And people say I should give up everything for that girl. But honestly, it's got nothing to do with love or happily ever after. Someone who makes me feel complete when I am shattered. Or some idea, the one I'll forever be chasing after. No, none of that. Just good sex.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Very nice. I like it.
Josh Ray from Hazy Ray, play that song while his wife is about 2 feet away from him.
Yeah.
And his 18-day-old baby
right.
is right behind him.
Yeah, it's a new strategy.
Yeah.
Everybody, when they have a kid, they start writing these like really commercial, sappy ballads, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get all my demons out.
Is that a new song?
I finished it recently. Started writing it forever ago.
Right.
The entire writing time took about 8 minutes, spaced out over about 16 years.
So what'd you start with, writing an idea about someone who is in love with you and you just want to fuck him?
It was no,
Or you start with a melody.
I was fucking them.
Oh, so it's
And
real.
They were developing feelings, even though we had
Right.
agreed. And as a young
That
person,
never
That's
works.
not a real thing.
That you
yo,
can't
16
say that and it
years
just
ago,
happens.
I was
Not a real
16. I thought that you could agree upon these things beforehand.
You can agree, but it's
No,
not
no.
an agreement.
Does
Well, at
not
16
work
years
that way.
old, I didn't know that.
You
I'm
know
32
what?
now.
Neither one of you would actually hold up the end of that bargain.
No, somebody's gonna ruin that.
No,
like,
both of them,
real
actually.
quick.
Nah, she ruined it, and then I got a cool song out of it, so I'm good.
What happened to her? Where is she?
She is out in the world saving the ocean.
Hey,
How horrible are
that's
you?
cool.
I know, right?
So she
No, the
Jesus.
list of
She
women
did
now
okay.
treated like shit.
She
They're
did
amazing
okay.
women.
But,
So it's
you know,
okay.
at 16, that's a pretty enlightened kind of conversation to have.
I'm
isn't
pretty
it?
sure all my
for sure.
boyfriends from high school are like drug dealers now. I'm like fairly.
So, do you-
sorry,
okay, so
Matt McNally. I apologize.
We know what
Pretty
Veronica
sure.
Wood is into.
Vivian Wood.
Vivian. I was gonna let it
Talking
happen.
about somebody else.
Wasn't Veronica Wood an actress, or was that someone else?
I think that's Veronica Lake.
Veronica Lake. I think you're right.
It's nature.
It's a
I
different
don't have a
element.
TV. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't have
That's
a TV.
okay.
So, what is it like for you, really, in real life? I mean, there is a fantasy world where you write these novels and you make money out of being a fantasy novelist. I assume
Yeah.
you're making money out of this. It's a good living.
It's like, I mean, I pay my bills.
But what about your real life? What about actually a real guy or a real partner?
I struggle with like staying in relationships.
Struggle
and
with
stuff.
commitment. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Everybody.
Nobody.
Both of my
defines
parents have been
commitment
like
easy.
married and divorced like multiple times, so I just like watched that growing up, and I was just like, I just like don't want that. Like,
Right.
Nap
so yeah. So it's just hard. Like you meet people and you think like, oh, this person's really interesting, and then you like, I don't know. Like it's just, I think I don't have like a romanticized view in the way that like of like my ideal partner the way that romance novels do. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to date some guy that's like super ripped, but in my mind, like
Super ripped.
yeah, right.
That's ideal.
Yeah, but that's not
See?
actually.
That's what women want.
yeah.
Super
no,
ripped.
Super ripped.
I'm like very attracted to like super driven people who are like extremely intelligent, and like
Passionate.
there just aren't that many of them in the world, unfortunately. And when
What are the two qualifications again?
they're
Super
just like
driven
very
and
driven and like
intelligent.
very intelligent.
Well, then
Yeah,
most of them are probably somewhere else, not here.
yeah.
in
No,
New
I know.
Orleans.
Why do
You
I
moved
live
to
in New
the-
Orleans?
Yeah, I
It's
was about to
terrible.
You
say
go
you
to
should probably
DC,
just.
It's because
move.
I've been here for 10 years, and when I moved here, I wasn't driven. Like it took me a long time to get. I was a bartender for 10 years. Like it took me
Yeah,
a
but
really
you
long
don't
time
have
to
to
get
be
to this
driven. You
place.
want the guy to be driven.
No, I'm also very
You
driven.
want-
I'm like I work.
Well, somebody's gotta
65 or
drive
70 hours a
if you're
week.
gonna get anywhere.
Like,
So you want a guy who's as driven as
I
you.
have somebody's got to keep up with me. Like what I have found in my past relationships is like I will do all of the work. Like I will tow the boat. I will like make all the money and like do everything, and then I just like I'm done. Like I just like hit a point like a couple years into it. I'm like I think I actually hate you. Like I think
Why?
you're
2 years,
terrible.
Why? Are you resentful?
You just like
you
laid
have to
down.
nurture
You
the
laid
hatred
down and
for it
let
to
me do
become
whatever I want, and now I am like
Takes
now
time.
I'm carrying
That's the
everything.
trouble
Takes
with
time.
that's
No
the
more
trouble
nurturing.
But that's the trouble. You can make
stopped.
a deal.
She
You
stopped.
guys could make a deal right now. But you know what?
I can't make those deals.
That's
right
the trouble with control freaks. Is control
You're much
freaks
smarter
don't
than my
really want to be in
16-year-old self.
control.
That is my
Right.
exact life problem is that like I want somebody who can like stand up to me and somebody who's going to be like
Right.
that everything that you just said is fucking crazy.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like but I don't
every
I have
control
such a
freak,
strong
I think-
personality that it just like it's very difficult, you know?
You want to like not saying all women, but like some women.
Yeah.
You want an unrealistic.
I'm just saying that like if we get into
Don't
a fist
throw a
fight and you
feminist
just
in the
like let
pool,
me
dude.
win,
Don't
that's
do it.
terrible. Like don't let me win.
But I don't think only women have this quality. There's men too who are control freaks.
Yeah.
But they don't. These people who are
think
control
men
freaks
have lower-
don't really want to be in control. They don't. They are in control because they think everybody else is a fucking idiot.
Well, yeah, I think everybody's not doing it right.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm like, yeah.
But you're looking for someone who's doing it right, so they can take the burden off of you.
Something like that, or just like somebody who's got their shit together. Like,
Perfect. It ripped.
I think that's
got
what-
his shit together. I'm just telling you. I've asked a lot of women. It's unreal.
I'm just
ripped,
gonna
got
like
his shit
all
together.
Ripped and
literally
cleans
all
the
of the people
toothpaste
I've
after the
dated
event.
have been like very strange, like
Push the
very
seat down.
oddball. Like as far as like looks go, they're all like really weird looking, and that's fine. I'm in. Like, what do you have like super long hair? You look like weird Dave Grohl. Like I'm into that. Perfect.
I don't know who
Dave
Dave
Grohl.
Grohl is.
You
Dave
fucking
Grohl.
weirdo.
You don't know who Dave Grohl
I
is.
just learned who David Bowie was, so I just got to be real.
I hope
Dude.
that's not
It's
true.
okay.
See,
That's a
we-
fact.
Now we're definitely
happens.
not cuddling later.
It happens.
How could you not know
No,
who
it
David
happens.
Bowie
You
was?
could teach me.
That could
Exactly.
teach-
It does happen.
No.
We could
I was having
listen
this
to
conversation.
records.
One of my favorite trombone players in the city. I was having this conversation with him the other day, and he didn't really get it.
That
and
makes
then
me
he
really
listened to all
stressed
the-
out.
I'm a rap fan.
How
I
do you
mean,
get to the age?
hip-hop.
I don't know how old you are, but like, how do you get to your age and like not know who Dave? I just
I'm
don't.
29
understand.
years old.
How you
I
gonna
listen,
be a-
I
how you
listen
gonna
to
be a
mostly
jazz?
hip hop.
There you go.
Hip hop and rap. And
Expand your horizons, man.
Oh, I
You
have
listen to
been.
everything.
I
You
listen to
listen
Amy
everything.
Winehouse. I mean, I'm getting out there a little bit. I
I thought David
All right,
Bowie
all
was
right.
like the Bible or the Beatles
I
or
thought
something.
so.
You
Nah.
just
Yeah.
know
Not
about
for young
him.
black men.
Or
no, it's
Beethoven.
not.
Have
Young
you
black-
heard of Beethoven?
Beethoven?
Yeah.
Yeah. but not
Okay,
David
but you
Bowie.
wouldn't know. But you don't necessarily know what Beethoven.
Yeah, okay. Well,
did. You
name
just know
name
someone.
one of
Oh,
your
wait,
favorite
we're
hip
not
hop
talk-
artists when you were a kid.
We're not talking
Like,
about the
yeah.
dog,
That's
the movie with
interesting,
the
though.
dog. Not that
Roll
Beethoven.
over.
No,
I
not the
was
Saint
talking about
Bernard.
that.
Oh, yeah, I know who that
Little
guy
Richard
is.
song, yeah, absolutely.
The deaf composer.
That's pretty interesting.
To
There.
be fair, I also but I'm from Atlanta, and Atlanta is this like huge white
I'm
hipster
really
community,
sorry.
and so like David Bowie was like the thing my first year of college. People were like, "What are you not like?
50
You're
Cent
not
was
like
not.
like smoking weed and like listening to David Bowie albums." That's like all anybody did.
Well, not me
So-
particularly, but other people I know who have the similar demographic background. They were smoking weed, listening to Jay-Z and 50 Cent.
Okay.
I mean, I did both of those things.
Yeah, well,
Like,
just not David Bowie.
yeah.
We don't really cross. Some people, I'm just saying, like a regular New Orleans, let's say, young black dude. Not trying to speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure a lot of my
Right.
friends don't.
I
know
dig
who
how
David Bowie is.
everybody's not trying to speak for everybody today.
So, so who are young black dudes
Culture of
listening to
political
that white people don't
Yeah.
know about?
You
the
know
same.
what? Right now, I stopped listening to music with words, so I don't even know
Is
who
that
people.
right?
Yeah, just because
Wow.
one day I was sitting
I thought
around.
we were gonna dig into formation today, but no.
No,
We're
not.
gonna-
I mean, that's. Have you seen?
Just kidding,
no,
that
no,
sounds
no, no.
terrible.
I just one day I was sitting around and a Drake song popped into my head.
Oh, that's what did it. Drake
and I
will
was
make
just,
you want to stop
I was
listening
wondering
to words.
why did I not think about like E equals MC squared? Like why didn't that
Yeah.
pop into my head?
Because you
Some
were
smart
listening to
shit.
Drake.
Yeah, so I turned it off.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
Drake
have the TV,
will kill your
Hey, has that
Love
helped
of
you?
words.
Has that helped your mental process to
Yeah,
have
you
no
know what?
TV and not listen to music with words?
I think it's more me and less the world in me. So yeah, I believe so.
Well, this ties right into our illustrated guide to the
Universe.
universe,
Yeah.
right there.
You don't do
Becoming
you feel
one with
like,
the universe,
Do you feel like
actually.
as a writer you need like a lot of external input?
Because I write children's, I'm gonna tell you what. I read Henry David Thoreau. I believe he said he only wrote when he felt it, and so I only write.
Hey.
I only write when I feel
That's a
it.
good line.
When I stop feeling it, I put it down. I try for a little while, and if it doesn't come back, I put it down. Only when I feel it. So like I only have 5 books, which are less than 1,000 words each. But I only write when I feel it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what
But
that means.
I
got
thought
you.
like a real writer, like a professional writer, had to just write all the time, even if you didn't feel it.
Hey, I've been writing. I've been an author for 7 years, and last year I just started considering myself an author. So yeah,
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
I'm not a real writer. I
Well,
never
no, I
wanted
thought
to
that
be
was
a
the
writer.
deal, though. I
Do you
thought you
know
had to.
Stephen King is like I don't
The shit?
love his books, but his book
I
on-
do.
His book
He writes as many books
he
as
wrote
you.
a memoir / like writer's guide called On Writing, which is like one of the best guides to like the actual like everyday of being a
Krista
writer.
Trippett. Like on being, on this, on writing.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of on the nose, but
On the
but
nose.
Stephen
That could be
King's
your
allowed
next
to
one.
do that now because he's like
He's a grand old
hot
man.
shit.
Of,
Yeah. But so it's actually like a really fantastic book, like shockingly fantastic. And one of the things that he says is he's like when do you become a real writer? And he says, like, for my definition, like the day that you get that first check, that $12 check, and you go and you pay like your light bill, you pay your cell phone bill, you pay whatever you need in your life, and that starts paying for some of your necessities, like that's when you're like a professional
Can
writer.
I brag? Last
Absolutely.
year, I started considering myself a writer because I got an $11,000 check.
Damn.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Hey,
that's
You just-
impressive.
You get like a definite fist
Yeah,
slap.
the
I wanna-
biggest. The
Oh, you
biggest.
want like a really
careful.
remembering it, I want to. Remembering,
Just
I
wanna,
spent
like,
it's gone.
punch people?
But I want to punch your fish right now. How happy I was when
Was
I
it
got
all
it.
in one check?
Hey, they called me. Hey, we want you to do this. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm like, it costs $11,000. Just being scared, like it costs $11,000.
And they were like, okay.
And then
you're like,
okay,
oh, shit.
Tuesday we'll send the check. I'm like, okay. And then they send me an email. Oh, it's on the way. I'm like, and then I got the check
Did
the
you
next
hold
day.
that check and just be like?
No, I sent it straight to the bank. I took it out in cash.
So you
I would
can
have definitely just like rubbed it on my body.
Oh, I got the cash. I got the cash and did that with the cash.
you got some photos in there up on YouTube of you in the bed with the.
They're not on YouTube, but they're on Snap. They were on Snapchat. They're
Did you
gone.
like request like a specific denomination so you could like swim in it?
all $1
$1
coins.
Sacagawea coins.
Sacagawea. Because I wanted to keep it for the native. Hold it down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
For the
That's
women
what you should
and
do.
for the Native
There you
Americans.
go.
So-
Well done.
How many of these you have to bang out to make $11,000?
Just one for me.
That's a really good question. It doesn't work like that exactly.
Do they keep selling all the time? Like
Right,
someone like
yeah.
me will buy one.
It's
too.
really weird, like stuff like bad. So I have like a couple of pen names that I like don't write in anymore. And like, so some of them are just like weird, like erotica stories, and they just sell occasionally. Like people like buy them. I don't even understand. They're terrible.
Can I use some of those old pen names? Because I got some stuff on. I want to write from a women's pen name.
That's a good idea.
Well,
You
so
could
I have
be-
one. I have
men would
one.
dig it.
I have one
Men would
secret
dig
pen
it.
name that I'm like holding for future uses,
Good
which is like
job.
one of my best friends' names. I'm like I'm going to start writing military romance next year, and like I have a whole thing.
Military
So you
romance.
can't have that
dangerous.
one, but we can talk about it.
Military.
But yeah, no,
you
it's,
guys can talk about it when you take a nap.
Yeah.
After. Listen, Josh, we have to
Tomorrow.
before we go any further. What is
I've been
going-
enjoying this
I mean,
thoroughly.
I wanted to ask you what's going on with the band. What's
The
happening with
band's
Hazy Ray?
The band is doing great. We're now, I think the last time we talked, we were doing Colorado, Virginia, and everywhere south. We are officially up to Boston and back as well.
Okay.
Part of our
So you're
our
expanding your
territory. Yeah.
illustrated guide to the universe.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Exactly.
How's it
We,
going
um,
down? Are
We've
people-
got, let's see, I don't think it was out yet when we were here last time. The Linda EP is out.
I'm not sure if it was or not, but
It
it's,
is a 6-song story of me and my lovely wife over there. And it's very real, not overly romanced. I'm pretty proud of it. The Deep and Shallow, the full record is still out. We are recording the single B-side to start promoting for the second album, Second Chances. And
the second album's called Second Chances.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got a text here from Mike,
Hey, Mike.
who wishes he could be here. But
Michael
he's,
P. Hayes, I was hoping
yeah,
he
he's
was gonna
actually
come
managing the restaurant House of Blues now. So he's,
on. Really?
yeah.
Go check out Michael P.
And
Hayes.
what do
and
we
his
have?
LSU
I texted him. I was
t-shirt.
like, "What do I need to talk about?" And he says, "All right, so I just told you about the recording stuff. We
Yeah.
are doing
Who's
French,
producing the record?
Mike Tristan. He's
Okay.
the man. That's who we use.
French Quarter Fest?
French Quarter Fest at House of Blues at Bank Street, and we're going to be at Bank Street and House of Blues for Jazz Fest as well. And we've got there's an after party that's right outside the gates that we do
We'll
cool.
be there.
Okay.
every year. So
Very good.
That's what's going on.
Okay, cool. All right. So, how's the band going? Everybody's happy. And
Everybody's happy. Everything's going
Still
Ryan
together.
Is, yep, we're managing to do 150 shows a year in like 20-something
holy
states.
shit.
That's crazy.
With Ryan being an L2 or L3. He's psycho, dude. He's
Lawyer,
amazing.
L2.
Yeah, our
law
guitar
school?
player who will put me in a ground on guitar. He's amazing. And he's also in law school and he's almost done. I think he's got 2 or 3 semesters
He's
left.
doing 150 shows a year.
making me
and
feel really depressed about my life.
He's rocking a cool 100. Like he skips about 50.
he doesn't show up. Yeah, I was going to say,
I
I've,
gotta
Like
study,
that's one of
bro.
the reasons why most bands with two guitar players, one of them really sucks and one of them's really good. That's why I don't suck.
because you have
so
to
he can
practice.
skip.
You have to be good. Right.
I have to be okay. So when he's gone, I can hold
Right.
my own.
Yeah, I think the first few times
Yeah.
I saw you, I didn't even know there was another guitar player.
Yeah. And then
And
he
then-
came in and
Yeah,
screwed your face. 'cause that's what he does.
He's good. He
You
is
can use
real.
that. You can
He's
use
really
that.
Yeah.
Rockstar Romance is very hot this year.
Rockstar, right?
You
It
just
sure
know
is.
all
Look
the
at this.
trends.
I
You got
do.
all the trends.
That's
just
my job.
down.
That's my job.
We got to
like-
talk after this.
I'm trying to think. One of
Coffee.
my good friend who writes under the pseudonym Vivian Lux, not me, sounds like me. It's
Lux.
not me. Vivian Lux, Lux, just released a book called Rane Rain, and it's a rockstar romance, and it's like the sexiest cover I've ever seen. It's very
check it
cool.
out.
Very cool. She just dropped that today. So
The cover.
Today. It's
the
out
book,
today.
yeah, the book just came out today.
What's it called?
Rain.
Rain,
Rain.
Rane,
And it's a fantasy about someone fucking a guy in a band.
right?
Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, because
No.
they're very
That
wealthy.
never happened.
I mean, I don't mean that's
Grant.
not a big deal.
Yeah.
Fucking a guy in a band.
I play
mean,
guitar because that's a big deal.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is a big
That's
deal.
why guys.
That's how that all
That's
but
why
it's
guys
also-
play in a
days.
band.
But you have to realize it's also like,
18.
oh my god, this guy that gets all this attention and he can have anybody he wants, but he picks
But
me.
no, but I mean that's been
That's
going
what it's
on.
about.
That's what groupies are.
That's
been,
called the long game.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
now the
Why is that
55-year-old
suddenly hot?
groupies are now buying those rockstar romances.
Writers like this are the reason I do what I do.
But that doesn't seem to me to be a fantasy that anyone's would be a new genre. That's what everybody in a band is.
Oh, rockstar romances
that.
have been around for a long time. They're just
What
like
about-
they've made a comeback this year.
Oh, okay. all
I
right.
I think it speaks to the women who don't want to do it in real life. Like they don't want to be that
Exactly.
girl.
Be careful,
They
my
want
wife
it.
is right there.
Okay. I stopped right there. Done.
I think you have to be
Over.
like such a tolerant person. I'd be like, you know what? I don't want any of your shit right now. Like,
Did you read "Wife Me Bad Boy"?
I have not read it. I feel. No, I'm not going to read that. I read the first.
It's number
like,
one. It's the
500
most popular book on Amazon.
That's
You gotta see
not
what's
as
up.
hard as you would think. But
That's another good title.
Not as hard as
Excellent title for
We're
your
coming
new
up with a
book.
lot of good ones
Yeah.
today.
Sponsored by Viagra.
I read the first.
I feel like it'd make everybody go, oh.
I read the first like couple hundred words of it, and it was just
Poor
like
guy.
gibberish. So I was like, I'm not reading this book.
And that's written. These are all written by women.
I am pretty sure that's an actually a lot of romances are written by guys. I have
there are.
several like guy writer friends who write romances
Yeah, for real.
How do you
women.
How do you meet these guys? At
A lot of people you meet like so there are a lot of like small writers communities just for like romance novelists and erotica writers like because we're all trying to get ahead like together and rising tide raise all ships like there's a lot of different communities. So I actually got into this because I like was on Reddit one day and was like
Okay,
5 years ago.
That's the worst thing on the internet.
Right.
Isn't
Well,
it?
it's actually been great for
depends
me
on
though. It
where you
like
go.
this broke my career because I basically was on some crappy general subreddit and I was like, "Hey, I wrote this book. What should I do with it?" And some like nice stranger who I'm still friends with approached me and was like, "Hey, if you're really serious about this, like you should self-publish. This is what you should do." And like told me all the things I needed to know. It was amazing.
So Reddit has made your whole career.
I mean, kind of, yeah. There's like all
Okay.
these like very small like private groups in Reddit and like also elsewhere, but like where people are talking about like what's the new trend, like how do we market stuff, like how do you increase your word count and like to make more money and all this like crazy shit. Like people,
You make more
they're all
money
these.
for the more words you write.
Yeah,
Not
you
me,
get
dude.
paid by
Doesn't
you get paid
matter
by
how
the
long the song
page
is.
on
I get
Amazon.
paid the same per song.
No,
Hang on,
you
hang
get paid
on,
by the page. It's
hang
terrible.
on.
Like 2 minutes, 8 minutes, I get paid the same for the song. It's what it is.
No, not on Amazon. You get paid like .00041.
not me. You do. I don't.
I do. I
Hang on
do.
a second. I didn't know this. Did you know this? You get paid. I can put a book up on Amazon. If anybody buys it, I get paid by the number of pages.
Yeah, if you
I
don't
get
mind
paid
making
more.
like .0041 cents per page.
Well,
which is actually not bad.
more than I'm
That's
making
four.
now
That's
with my
$4
Amazon
a book.
books.
You never
That's
notice like
$4 a book.
the hardback releases when they first come out, the font's like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
So-
So I could,
but there are-
I could scan the phone book and put it up there, and some idiot buys
I'm
it.
sure that's copyrighted. I'm 100%
No, but
sure.
I mean, it's not. Okay, I guess. I
Amazon would definitely.
So,
they're
okay,
very
so
strict.
I could sit down tonight and I could just write garbage.
Anything.
And then-
Yeah,
and
you
then-
could be like, you could
Writers
write the
do
name
it all
Amanda
the
over and
time.
over like 6,000
Right,
times and
6,000.
publish
That's a
that.
love
And if
letter.
someone
That's a love
read it,
letter.
you'd get paid for that. Like, that's why there's so much,
this
there's so
is
much variance
great
in like the
news.
quality of romance that you read. Because you'll read somebody, you'll be like, man, this is a really good writer. And you'll read someone, you'll be like, this person
Well, I know
maybe
that.
doesn't speak English.
So I gotta
Possibly.
throw something out there that I just heard that Amazon is opening bookstores, 400 retail bookstores.
That's weird.
It just
around the
seems so
country.
backwards, but
That
you
does
know,
seem
you can't.
backwards.
You
It's a great
I was just
idea
thinking
because
that.
they just drove the price of books completely down, and they publish a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And now they
Yeah.
are opening bookstores.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're
You
doing.
think that was a
they're doing like a
conspiracy
couple
that
of
they
really.
planned it?
Oh,
It's
for
all
sure.
planned?
It's been done in
Sure.
many other industries.
Every industry.
Well, yeah, they got sued.
Why don't we open our
Amazon
record
and
store?
Apple and Barnes and Noble all got sued for controlling the price of ebooks. Is a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we open a record store then, seeing the price of music has been driven right down to
It's
nothing?
gonna be free. Sorry.
Oh yeah. That's why. No,
It's already
we,
free.
That's why we tour and play so many shows.
Well, I tell you what,
That's
if you
where the
go,
money's
if you
at.
go if you go to hazyray.com and you try and buy music off that website, it just sends you to Spotify, which it's basically free. I mean, it is free.
It depends. It works
I
on.
just-
It's basically like so. If I got 10,000 people to like us on Facebook, those
Right.
10,000 people listen to us on Spotify. We get paid for that. So it's
Right,
not like
that's
people
true.
bash it. But if you do the work like you do everywhere else to get people to run your Spotify, you do get paid. It's not. I'm not saying it's
It's not like buying a
great,
$10
but
record.
I do respect the fact that it pays you
opportunity.
for your work.
Well,
It's
that's
like
pretty
going on tour. You get paid for
Right.
your work.
That's
you know?
pretty good thinking, actually, because no one's going to buy your record anyway.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
might as well drive them to Spotify.
Like all these. I'll give you an example. All these artists that dropped off of Spotify, they're like, we're not doing Spotify. We're not doing Spotify. Dave Matthews Band, love them or hate him, they were like, screw it. We need to get people to listen to us on Spotify. So what they did was they took all their albums and they went through all their recorded concerts and picked out their favorite recording of each song and released live versions of their
Nice.
albums. And they got like 4 million people running their Spotify. And now they're getting super paid off of Spotify.
Gotta work
Because
it.
I go on there and
Okay.
I want to listen to Crash. I
Right.
want to listen to all their favorite live takes of like 20 years
Right.
of doing this. It's actually pretty dope.
That's a pretty smart
And
idea.
it's
You
being
guys-
So there are ways of doing it.
Internet mavens, both of them.
Yeah, these two.
No.
I used to do internet marketing, and I still haven't.
This has been very informative and educational today. Thank you so much.
I had to chime in something.
That's great.
I'm in the audience.
We're out of time. We got to get the hell out of here. There's a lot of people in here today at
Yeah,
Wayfare, so
really
we've
are.
got to give up our table so
Nice
somebody
Wayfare.
can actually pay
I feel
to
like
sit
these
down
people
here.
don't have anywhere to go.
Hey, thank
it's
you,
like
guys.
real early.
So my guests on Happy Hour today have been Kate Wright, otherwise known as Vivian Wood. You can find her at vivian-wood.com. You can find that on our website too, but if you're not going to our website, is it vivian-wood.com, right?
Yeah, please go buy all
Okay.
my books. Thanks.
You can
Appreciate
find
that.
Alex McConduit at what is the name of your website?
Big Boot
Big Boot.
Books.
Big Boot Books. BigBootBooks.com. Okay. And we can find you. You just write under the word name Alex McConduit.
Maybe not
Your
after
real
this
name.
show, but
Or
yeah.
Chuck
Chuck
Wood.
Wood. Chuck
I wonder if
Wood.
Chuck.
Chuck
I wonder if
Wood.
Chuck Wood is going, and of course Josh Ray from Hazy Ray has been here as well. Thank you, sir. So we only got to play one song today,
Yeah.
but
It was nice.
Come
I loved
back.
it.
Well,
come on back.
I will.
You just live around the
I
corner.
live literally 3 blocks away.
I know,
so
and
I'm
now
good.
the little, Evangelina Grace.
And we took the car because it's the first time taking
the
baby
baby.
out. So
Yeah,
it's like, all right,
good
I guess
point.
I'll drive.
We got to wrap this
Well, how
up.
exciting it was Baby's first podcast and first trip to a
Yeah,
bar
yeah.
and first time she heard Daddy play a song about just good sex.
Yeah, it's called Just Good Sex. I
Just
forgot
Good
to say
Sex.
It's
that.
really,
Another
it's
song.
good to give women like expectations for early in life.
Well,
so,
yeah, exactly. Like letting her know what dudes are about
yeah,
from the beginning.
Just all terrible.
Good job.
straight up.
Perfect.
Guys, thanks so much for being here. That's
Thank
Happy
you.
Hour for another week. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh is our music director. And our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can sit around a table for about 60 minutes and stay upright, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com, where you can also check out many other Happy Hour shows, as well as some other shows we make here. Out to Lunch with Peter Asciuti, live from Commander's Palace, True to the Game, with the fabulous and funny Chris True, Midnight Menu +1 with Margot Moss, and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, Milo's Music Parlor with Kim Vu, and you can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. And all of it we're called It's New Orleans, and you can find photos from this show, see what we look like on itsneworleans.com, and on our Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Alison Moon. If you're listening to this show on iTunes or Stitcher or some other podcast app, thanks for subscribing to us. Just stop everything you're doing right now and take one moment to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street, where they put fine dining into a sandwich, if you can believe that, and fine booze into a glass. They have a 3-hour happy hour here every day from 4 to 7, and they make an awesome brunch on the weekends. Come and check them out. They're Wayfare on Ferret Street. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, who's around the country, you can find him at andrewduhon.com. He's going to be back here any minute. I'm Grant Morris. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next week on Happy Hour.
Hi folks, Dirk Bentley here. Being on the go is a big part of my life. I love seeing new places, meeting new people, and performing all over the world. For energy on the go, for me, it's 5-Hour Energy. It works fast, works long, and it tastes good. With 0 sugar and 4 calories. Try it. It could work for your on-the-go life too. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go.
Get 5-Hour Energy at your local 7-Eleven.